Bring him here. Bring him here.
Oh, Schefter?
No.
Oh.
Shut up. Bring him here.
Rappaport?
I want to know if there's anybody. Oh, yeah, audio courtesy ESPN and NFL Network and the Dumont Network. And is there anybody who has opposed opposition to this?
I told you, my buddy says this isn't 2012 anymore. This is not the Jim Harbaugh or the John Harbaugh that we had fallen in love with.
I thought he said 2008, you said.
He used a year that was way, way long ago.
Okay.
The smart alecky analytics people are like, he's still coaching from a different time period. They didn't think he was
the guy who changed his offense and everything for Lamar Jackson when he still had Joe Flacco.
He came under a lot of scrutiny the last few years.
All right, maybe that's the case. I want to hear it from the people. I'm open-minded. If you guys think he's terrible, fine. I don't think anybody could consider him terrible. You just said your friend TA. He's a nice
said
guy. I shouldn't say.
Yeah, they just said they don't. In their circles where they sit there on their advanced message boards with their advanced numbers.
I love how you change your voice when you do that, too.
Yeah. And then I use those advanced numbers when I'm tearing down Shedeur Sanders.
Your accent changes. You become very, very coattails and Buzz Killington.
But obviously, like his record, him running that organization the way he did, were you a little surprised to see the statement from the Ravens, not the one from the owner?
Oh, I didn't see the statement from the Ravens. I beg your pardon.
Sashi Brown.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And I'm like, I knew Sashi was over there. He's in a position to fire John Harbaugh, Sashi Brown,
and then make a statement.
We got to bring John in here. We get John. You guys want to talk statues? There's at least got to be a plaque to Sashi. He saved us from the trade for A.J. McCarron. Okay? Now, hey, all he did, listen, I'm going to put the spotlight on Sashi here for a second. Did Sashi fire him?
Yeah. I mean, it seems unbelievable. Like, if you're John Harbaugh, you got to be going, who are you?
So Sashi helped us.
Who the hell are you? Guys, what do you mean you're firing me?
Guys, I just want to point this out. Sashi got us 2 first number 1 overall picks, and I know we messed up one of them. We got 2 number 1 overall picks. Sashi helped us get. Okay, tore it down, which, as Lima says, any goofball can tear a franchise down. It takes talent to actually build them. You're right. Didn't let us make that silly trade for A.J. McCarron, who's the head coach of a UFL team now. Didn't let us make this silly Hugh Jackson trade for him. And then, remember, when he got fired, he said he'll always be rooting for the Browns. Guys, we talk about laser eyes, Barry. This is 5,000D chess. We get John Harbaugh. Of course, he could be putting the boots to us if we get John Harbaugh, according to your buddy.
I would take him.
It out.
I think you'd take him.
Yes,
I would take him. But just fighting me, Eric DeCosta's the GM there, and you would just assume that he would have amassed more power. Instead, Sashi Brown.
Well, did they? Let me ask you this:
ask your average Cleveland Browns fan, Sashi Brown or John Harbaugh? Who should win a power struggle?
Now, Sashi's not a bad guy. All right, really, in true honesty, but I don't think Sashi really cares about fans if they hate him, and I don't know how they thought that they were going to take this. Now we'll talk to Bob Haney about this coming up at 8:00 during Around the AFC North. Which good guy? I might kind of want to take it 2 segments if we talk to. Do we just want to squeeze Bob into a 5-minute segment there? I mean, I'm kind of thinking about this on the fly.
I'll text him here a little bit.
Yeah, I don't mean to put you guys in a bad spot. I know we're kind of scrambling on that front. But Bob Haney from 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore during Around the AFC North, but it's this is a bigger conversation now. Sashi obviously dealt with the slings and arrows of people going after him while the Browns were in their teardown. And so he dealt with that, and I can't believe it would just be, nope, Sashi says, you're gone, bye-bye, 18 years. They probably had to come to some consensus, but who knows how the fan base is going to react. So does Eric DeCosta want to sit there and deal with it? Eric DeCosta will go on the podium at some point and go, it was a tough decision, but it was a group decision on this. But it's Sashi doesn't care. Sashi will put out the statement. Fine. I can't believe it was Sashi.
It's just funny. It's Sashi, he did such a admirable job as the president of the Washington Wizards. He comes in and he's like, I got to say goodbye to John Harbaugh, the guy who's been one of the best coaches in the NFL. at least for me, in the last 20 years, he's got to be up there, right?
Well, so give me the argument, because I have an argument against what the analytics folks say, those type of things, because I'm starting to get a couple of texts about some of the people that they're snooping around with, not just the Seahawks defensive coordinator, Aiden Dirty, which we will talk about at 6:40. We'll talk about him coming up at 6:40. Todd Monken and things. There's other little back channels and things that I'm hearing about, and kind of gives me a different thought about how they're going to go with this. And I think it tells you from the tea leaves I'm reading that they have a lot more confidence in their operations than what the fans do. What John Harbaugh brings. John Harbaugh, I think, if you were to actually go and get him, one, you are seen by so many people as the bottom job in this. Connor Orr, where did you put it?
Yeah, towards the bottom.
I think the guy I like to. I like to listen to Nate Tice. He's in a different time zone. I mean, he called the job poison. Quote. I saw was it a CBS Sports? The Athletic ranked it bottom. This is before the Ravens job opened up, so obviously it's behind that.
Kevin Clark at The Ringer said it was really bad, and said Kevin Stefanski before this was the number one candidate, so why didn't we just keep Kevin Stefanski?
So if you, and that's going to upset and annoy a lot of people, guys. Yeah. I get it. You guys have boots on the ground. You're here. You're in the thick of it. But what this points out to you, that it's going to be hard to get a guy like him. But if you went and you got a guy like him, that's going to buy instant credibility again with your fan base. I think that the trust is at one of the all-time lows, and it's been low at times, guys. We've been through the roller coaster here, but this is one of the true dips in trust with the fan base. If you were to go get on a plane, go and get him to sign on the bottom line, he's 63 years old. This team was underperforming. The Baltimore Ravens were
64 in September.
64 in September. Well, it'd be 64 in September. It was an underperforming team this last year. I know that they got to the playoffs. There's been a lot of consternation about Lamar, about the playoffs here over these last so many years. They didn't get to the playoffs this year, obviously. That's why he's out. But what it would do, I think it would buy a little bit of hope with the fan base. And then I think that you would look at it and go, it's a professional operation. This would be a professional operation. And honestly, I think that he might be willing to work with Andrew Berry, and Andrew Berry would certainly be willing to work with him. I really do. Now, if John Harbaugh didn't want Andrew Berry, would you move on from Andrew Berry for John Harbaugh?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. I think that 90-something% of the fans would too, but I want to put us on record for that.
I look at him.
But I got to tell you right now, I don't think the Browns would make that decision if he said he's got to go.
You don't
based on some of the texts I'm getting to some of the people that we don't know publicly yet that they've reached out to.
Yeah,
I don't think that they'd be willing to do that.
Well, I wonder because it was very interesting. Adam Schefter, I think it was, had the report yesterday. Even though there were only 6 job openings at the time, he said that 7 teams had already reached out to his representation. Meaning, there's a team who has a coach right now that they were going to push through with. And the minute Harbaugh came on the scene, and you wonder how many other teams would be thinking the same thing. So that would lend itself to thinking he's going to have a ton of options. Not to mention the one that I've been looking at. We got the text this morning too from our boss, Keith, and he's 100% right. Like if you're Buffalo, you have to see this is the last stand for McDermott.
Yeah, if it goes. I say you get to an AFC Championship game, I think you're safe. I think if you get to the Super Bowl, obviously, I think you're safe. I don't think you have to win either of those games unless you went out and got blasted like 38-0 again in the AFC Championship game against like the Patriots or something like that. I don't know how the bracket fills out. I'm just giving you an example here. Then maybe you would move on. If it ends up being a one and done situation, then he probably is gone. He's probably gone. This is a tough spot for them right now. But so I think the Bills would be in that spot. Did you mention the Dolphins?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, just that McDaniel supposedly was going to help with the GM search, but there's been a lot of speculation that the minute Harbaugh hit, is Stephen Ross? Is he still the guy?
Oh yeah.
And I think there is a son-in-law or something similar situation. What we've got going on, making decisions there, that immediately they might pivot.
So they're going to go from Mike McDaniel helping them find their general manager to
firing him, hiring Harbaugh, and then this again just speculation.
Ken Senior's going to love hearing that at 6:14 in the morning.
And then coming in with whoever his GM candidate or whoever had been linked to him at some point, because the Ravens have had a pretty robust front office, and their analytics team as well has been pretty robust over the years.
God, it's the same team. It's the same team. Green and orange, brown and orange, they're the same team. Hasn't had a quarterback since they had a quarterback in the 90s, and then that went to hell. Haven't had a quarterback in 30 years. I mean, you look at it, good God, it's just the same team in different climates with different colors. 216-474-0092. I'm waiting for my dad to text me. I'm serious. If they were like, Kenny, you got to go pick him up, I'll leave the station right now and go pick him up. I'll do the rest of the show on the phone, like the Cavs did the game last night. I'll do the rest of the show on the phone, driving at 76 in Pittsburgh.
Only the final 2 minutes of like a one-score game.
Okay, right before I get on the turnpike, I'll get on the phone.
Hey, they got their revenge last night. Take that, Pacers.
If you get your revenge and nobody sees it.
Does it count?
Can I get 5 minutes on this game later?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. 216-474-0092. Kevin in Cleveland. Hello, Kevin.
Morning, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Kevin, we're doing well. Go ahead.
I would love to have Harbaugh as my head coach. I don't know if you guys go on Instagram too much. I know you guys are on Twitter, but I use Instagram as my outlet.
Truth Social.
And all the Ravens fans seem to be very mixed on this. I've seen a lot of them that are happy that he's gone. I see a lot of them that are absolutely destroyed that he's gone. And with the routes that they've gone to, let's start there. They've gone to the playoffs almost every single year that he's been a head coach, and we have not gone to the playoffs. Look at how he has lost those playoff games. I mean, either Lamar has an absolute choke job, or his wide receivers fumble balls in the end zone, or just drop them. I'm not saying that won't happen.
That's why I don't understand. Let me tell you, Kevin, that's why I don't understand some of the things that Lyman... Now, I haven't seen him, so I'm only going off what Lyman said. I don't understand some of the analytics stuff, the guys that we know who are really into advanced analytics. I don't understand some of those conversations, and I'm going to have to go look at them during breaks here because, like you just said it, there's a lot of happenstance that's gotten in the way of some of these games. And some of these big moments for him recently with Lamar Jackson. Kevin, you remember, Lima, you said it. I don't know if Kevin was listening yesterday, Kevin. Lima said it yesterday, like, if there were a power struggle and he were Steve Bisciotti, we were doing Rat Boy and the Hog, you said you'd pick John Harbaugh over Lamar Jackson in the power struggle. You said that.
Yeah, I made a case. And
Kevin, thank you very much.
I was surprised. I tweeted it yesterday just assuming I was going to get crushed, and I got crushed by Lamar Jackson. How do you replace Lamar Jackson, right? It's easier to replace a 63-year-old who's going to be 64 in September head coach. My point was Lamar is somebody that if you truly believed in your organization and you believed in your coach, which obviously they don't because they just got rid of him, but I could conjure up a way that you could, remember, they're kind of aging in a lot of positions. What could you trade Lamar Jackson for? What could you trade him for? Look at what Deshaun Watson, look at the return for him.
3 first-round picks for Lamar is what you're saying.
I mean, that's the starting point, okay?
Yeah.
And immediately, like, I have trust that Baltimore would have been able to find another quarterback, not as good as Lamar. That's just not how the NFL works. But that eventually, if you can't win with this guy in the playoffs, and he presses, he doesn't like cold weather, he's got the mysterious injuries, he's always banged up, doesn't really talk to the organization, his agency situation is bizarre in comparison to the rest of the league, so they have a very shaky relationship with him to begin with. I could understand in that building saying maybe we should go with the coach who's well-decorated and won a Super Bowl before Lamar. But it was a long time ago, and obviously you saw what they did, which is what I think most teams would do, which is pick the two-time MVP, who last year was third in MVP voting.
216-474.
Maybe second.
0092. Is it Jim Harbaugh no matter what? Or excuse me, is it John Harbaugh no matter what? Hopefully I won't do that again. Is it him no matter what? How would you feel towards the Browns? You look at how you feel right now. If the Browns actually got out there and got John Harbaugh, how much would it change your trust in this Browns football team? Because if they're listening over there, like, your trust does matter to them. I'm going to tell you that right now. How much would it change you? Now, does that weigh into you at all? Players talk all the time.
No, it doesn't. Only because I think things can get stale anywhere.
Okay.
I think if Andy Reid were to walk away this offseason from, and I haven't heard anything like that, but if he were to walk away, sorry, Owen, to talk about your team in vain like this, but I'm sure there'd be some reports that, Andy got a little stale over time. Yeah. That's what happens in any relationship. Most of your marriages, any of you listening right now on the radio, your marriages have gone stale at some point, and maybe you had to find a way to reinvigorate them. But in the NFL, you can actually change out a coach. You can't just change out your wife or your husband.
That's reckless.
On a whim of a couple of bad years.
Reckless speculation.
Bringing his own stuff up on the show.
Yeah.
So I don't, just because it got that way in one location. Doesn't necessarily mean that baggage comes into the next spot. So no, I don't. That doesn't really matter all that much to me because it's just been there so long. And that same thing might happen with Mike Tomlin, guys. This is so crazy how the AFC North, like Zach Taylor, could be the last man standing on Monday. He might be the last coach that's still here in the AFC North.
No,
he might have outlasted everybody else.
I think Tomlin's good to go for next year.
I don't know that.
I think so.
I don't know that at all. There's been so much reporting, so much speculation about what's going on in Pittsburgh.
I thought John Harbaugh would be good to go too. So, what?
It's an asinine statement. It's absolutely believable that Zach Taylor could be the last man standing.
I'll tell you this though. I see. This is where I disagree. I don't want to bog it down, but let me say this before I go to the phones. 216-474-0092. I'm actually kind of looking for somebody like who doesn't want him. I just want to because I'm all in. I'm all in. You want me to go get him? I'll go get him. I think that you can go get a plane and go get him and be fine. But if you want me to drive, I'll go get him. Because I think that it will make the fans, I think it'll put the fans back on your side. I think it'll give the fans some understanding. I don't know how long he'll be here. He's going to be 64. So it could be one of those situations where you have to get your processes in line. But I would go and get him. I don't think he would come here. That being put out there. But I want to hear from other people. Let me just say this about the Mike Tomlin thing real quick, is if immediately you fire Kevin Stefanski and he becomes the number one candidate for everybody, where Browns fans are like, hey, man, this has come to an end, and you look around it, I think the Steelers are going to look around this and go, man, there's really not a great candidate that we think is going to change this to a thing that we need. And I think that they look as the. I think the Rooneys probably woke up this morning and looked at the Ravens and thought that this is going to be a mistake for them. I think that that's what they are thinking. Now, they might watch it very closely because that's a long-time head coach over there, only has 1 year less experience than Mike Tomlin. They might watch it very closely, but I think that goes into next year as well. 216-474-0092. All right, let me get to Mike in East Cleveland. Hello, Mike.
What up, Ken?
Hi, Mike.
What up, Lyman? All right, so look, I'm cool, man. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't take him, but I wish we could just get our own coach. First of all, like you just said, Harbaugh going to be 63 years old. He's already a Hall of Famer. He already got a ring. He already had MVP quarterbacks and all that. What's left for him to do? We had our best run with Joe Flacco, and now we need Harbaugh. We might as well slap the Raven on the helmet. Like, are we really this incapable of finding our own people and our own talent?
Yeah, Mike. Are you a Browns fan?
Yeah, I know. That was low-hanging fruit. But this just make me feel like the Mike Holmgren thing again. Like, just get him in the building. Just get him in the building and we'll be okay. Like, when is the last coach that got fired went to a new team besides Andy Reid that made that new team that much better? That doesn't happen because the new coach already, like that incoming coach, he already done what he had to do and he already been fired from a place. So what are we really doing?
I think it would be very surprising, Mike.
The retread list is bad. He is right. Teams have done studies on this. I had somebody sending me last night the amount of coaches that have been considered retreads or whatever that have just not worked.
What are you saying retread is? Guys, well, I think Mike McCarthy did a pretty good job in Dallas, and you know where I stand on him. Everywhere. Yeah, I think that would be a credible hire
before y'all let me go. I would have rather kept Stefanski to bring in a 64-year-old coach from Baltimore of all places. Just get your own person.
I think you're being a fan. I think you're being a Baltimore hater. I don't think you're being open-minded at all, Mike.
Man, I got girls out of Baltimore, bro. I spend a lot of time out there. I'm cool with Baltimore, but I'm just saying.
Congratulations on all your success.
Relax. Hey, don't make me get on that. Don't come on now, y'all out there with y'all feet up. I ain't gonna say where y'all live again, but chill out, man. Chill out.
Mike, thank you for the call.
I got The list was Andy Reid is obviously the most notable, most successful, quote, retread, right? Obviously, that worked out really well. Jim Caldwell. These are on the better.
Jim Caldwell was a decent enough coach. He just kind of held it down.
Bruce Arians.
Bruce Arians
Mike
was
McCarthy.
a very fine coach.
After that, Jack Del Rio, Doug Marrone, Ron Rivera, John Gruden, Gary Kubiak, Mike Malarkey, Rex Ryan, John Fox, Doug Peterson, Pat Shermer, Adam Gase, Todd Bowles.
Isn't Bill Belichick a retread?
You're going way too fast.
I'm just giving you the names because they're not
too fast.
There doesn't need to be
Owen.
much discussion about any of them.
Send me that because I think there needs to be a discussion. Because if you're going to put Adam Gase and John Harbaugh in the same conversation, then I'll just leave the show because that's not an actual conversation. I just heard you say the name Adam Gase in a conversation about John Harbaugh.
Well, it's just guys that have gotten rehired. Guys that were thought highly enough in the NFL to not only interview for another job, to beat out the other candidates.
But you could have just went with, now Holmgren wasn't a head coach, I understand that, but you could have just went with that. Now Holmgren was given keys to everything and then decided not to come in until 10 o'clock in the morning. But regardless of what you're saying there,
the thought is always you're getting guys.
But as a head coach, he also took Seattle to the Super Bowl as a retread coach from Green Bay.
The thought is with so many of these guys and the track record is pretty clear, like the batting average of guys that get a second chance is that they're never at their hungriest than they are that first time around.
But I disagree with if you're going to bring up Adam Gase and I'm going to use him there, I think Adam Gase was hungry. I think he's just crazy. I think that some of these guys are there. I mean, if you're looking at John Harbaugh, if you're 63, 64 years old, now this is going to be part of it as well, because I don't know what would happen in back channels. And again, there's no conversation that we know of yet that the Browns have actually reached out to John Harbaugh or there's anything like that I know of, okay? If it were only based on money, it's like, hey, if you want him to come to the Browns, it's going to cost you more money than it would some of the other teams. Okay, if it were only based on money, like it was with Mike when it came to coming to the Cleveland Browns and running the show, then yeah, maybe you're going to run into a problem again. Because he's 63, he'll be 64, so you're running out of time to be competitive. You're running out of time to sit on the sidelines and kind of survey everything and then take another job. You're running out of time to do that. So if you want in, you're going to have to immediately jump back in. Do you want to jump in with a team that's going to give you a better chance? There's going to be teams that give you a better chance. Do you want to run in and jump back in with a team that is going to pay a lot of money? The Browns could pay a lot of money. Would be a lot of understanding there. Like, as much as I hate what you just brought up, it's a valid thing that we have to discuss. Now, I think that if he were coming back, he'd be plenty motivated. Plenty motivated. Now, that could be a bad thing. He could just be more strident in any bad idea that he might have. I mean, you look at what Bill Belichick was doing at the end, because it felt like two different regimes after Tom Brady left. And you saw some of the stuff that he was doing at the end, and I thought it was absolutely abysmal and downright stupid, some of the things that he was doing with the New England Patriots at the end, and really just completely flying in the face of his own legend. I don't think that John Harbaugh, it doesn't feel to me like John Harbaugh would do that thing, but again, I want the guy, and so I'm going to see it through sunny dispositions here. Frankie in Columbus, you're next up on the Fan. Hello, Frankie.
Great Wednesday morning, gentlemen. How are we?
We're doing okay, Frankie. Go right on ahead, friend.
All righty. So, for me, there's only two guys that if the Browns are serious about winning, and that's a big if, that they need to hire. The first is obviously Harbaugh, and the second is Mike McCarthy. And the reason I'll tell you Mike McCarthy is he knows how to handle a dysfunctional front office. His last boss was Jerry Jones. So, I mean, that tells you all you need to know. And he's had consistent success. But I don't think this is a job for a coordinator to come in to see success, unless Andrew Berry knows he's out the door, and it doesn't matter. But that's just me. I think it's obvious. I think Helen Keller can tell you those are the two. But, what the hell do I know?
How long are you listening to the show today?
I've been listening for 29 minutes.
No. How long can you listen to the show today?
I'm good.
I'm going to tell you something about 822 this morning I want you to hear. I don't know if you're going to like it, but I want you to hear it, okay?
All right. Let it rip.
All right. About what you just said, Frankie, thank you very much for the call. About those coordinators and such. I don't want to do it now, and I want to give people something to listen to later on. Until I heard about John Harbaugh yesterday, then I got really excited. Mike McCarthy has been pretty successful where he's gone. Now, I think he's kind of prickly with everybody out there, but if he's successful, nobody cares about how prickly he is. But you got to be successful. Yes.
Well, we're going to have three different teams on that all have head coach. Well, Baltimore needs a head coach. Pittsburgh, it's pony, so he probably wants a new head coach, right? And then Cincinnati, I think if you asked all three of them, they would all take Mike McCarthy right now over their current situation.
It's incredible.
A change of pace.
It's incredible. He went 12-5 3 consecutive years in Dallas with all the noise and everything. And yet there are people who are like, you're going to hire Mike McCarthy. You have no new ideas.